AT up here.
Welcome to Freedom Watch Afghanistan. I'm Tech Sergeant Gene Taylor. The Chiefs of Staff of the Afghan Army, Pakistan Army, and the Commander, International Security Assistance Force all met to discuss mutual security issues on Tuesday. The meeting between General Bismillah Khan, Chief of Staff of the Afghan Army, General Kayani, Chief of Staff of the Pakistan Army, and General David McKiernan, Commander of ISAF, was reported to be frank and productive. The three generals agreed that ISAF, Afghan and Pakistan forces must all work together to eliminate militant sanctuaries. The generals agreed to hold further talks on a more frequent basis. Well, Bagram Airfield is the busiest runway in Operation Enduring Freedom, with over 190,000 flights every year. Do the math, and that averages to over 500 flights a day. Airman First Class Gina Mulder shows us how every plane that lands on Bagram has three big obstacles to overcome.
This is Bagram Airfield's Approach Control Center. These radar controllers monitor and direct all air traffic as they approach or leave the airbase.
Unlike the tower, where you'll see the tower most of the time, the radar controllers are the unseen entity, whereas we do everything off inside of a little dark room with radar scopes, and we provide all the separation for all the aircraft who are flying within 50 nautical miles of Bagram.
It's their job to ensure pilots safely navigate past several problems specific to flying into and out of Bagram. The first obstacle is the most obvious.
The mountains here pose a problem because you can't normally just vector aircraft from point A to point B when you have mountains to consider.
Which brings us to the next problem. The mountains force all air traffic into one narrow corridor.
So there's really only one way in and one way out of Bagram Air Base, and that's from the south.
Now, to make matters worse, that narrow air corridor
comes right over the top of Kabul Airport. Kabul Airport is extremely busy also.
But before you get too worried, know that each of the 21 civilians who work in this room are previous military. They've all been doing this job for years. They have plenty of experience dealing with Bagram's peculiarities.
With the high minimum vectoring altitudes and the way the landscape is it's quite a task to do it without any mishaps or anything, and the people in the radar approach control do a fantastic job of keeping all these aircraft separated.
Airman First Class Gina Mulder, Bagram Airfield, Afghanistan.
Now here's a look at your photos from the field.
Marines with the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit help Garmsur citizens rebuild their homes. The MEU has focused efforts on Garmsur's infrastructure since offensive combat operations slowed in June. The 24th MEU has invested almost $20,000 in fixing Garmsur's infrastructure.
Military chaplains are easily found in your base chapel or sometimes roaming your hallways, checking up on the troops. Marine Corporal Robert Durham introduces us to two military chaplains that prefer to do their jobs on the front lines.
For the next hour, this bee hut, usually used as a DFAC, will be converted into a chapel.
Part of the chaplain's job is to go where the soldiers go to make sure that that spiritual right that is guaranteed to them is ensured.
Where the service takes place is not a concern, these forward deployed chaplains.
Being present with the troops where they are, where they work, and where they live is vital. It's essential to serving them, serving their needs. You can't do that from far away, so you have to go where they are.
The chaplain's role is important, but especially out here.
Spiritual care goes beyond just religion. Everyone has a spirit, and so we try to provide that care for people, particularly here in places where their spirit gets very tired and very weary from the fight.
This is the first religious service FOB Wilderness has had in over 2 months. So why such a small crowd? Well, most of the 161 Cavalry's troops are still out in the field. But regardless of how large or small the flock may be today, these shepherds give a full service. When the rest of the unit returns, this DFAC, no doubt, will become a chapel again. Reporting from Forward Operating Base Wilderness, I'm Marine Corporal Robert Durham.
That's it for this edition of Freedom Watch Afghanistan. I'm Tech Sergeant Gene Taylor. Have a great day.